It's The List and your boy with Jimmy Van and Sean Ross Sapp.
With Jimmy and Sean, sell pills for your dong. Make a fantastic song. Make a fantastic song.
What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulWrestling.com. Here with the very little Jimmy Van. Look at how little he is over there.
I know. I know. We have to work on the. We need to work on getting like the sizing right on both sides.
Does anybody want to put up?
It's true. It looks right now like it's Rey Mysterio and the Great Khali. Yeah. Nigel, so I should start by saying that it's the end of the Brady era. Brady's leaving us. This is his last show. Nigel's currently in the room. Because he's going to be at least temporarily taken over. So first order of business, Nigel, is to have our sizes be the same.
Okay.
I just want to say a couple things. First off, thanks, Brady. He's done awesome. He helped me out a lot with the in-person interviews. I think it's disgusting that Melissa got him fired. She was upset that somebody took over her job and did better at it. So she manipulated and politicked her way into getting Brady not just to get fired, but to move out of the province, from what I understand.
No, he's moving back to Ottawa.
Okay.
Where he's from. You know,
Kayfabe. How about that?
Yeah, you know, Ottawa, the host of 5 straight nights of Impact Wrestling. So he's moving back home.
That's why I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's why he's leaving. Yeah. So he's moving back home, and so yeah, Nigel's going to take over in the short term. So thanks to Brady for everything, and don't worry.
I'm so tall, and I hope that didn't intimidate Brady into leaving.
I'm sure it did.
I'm just so tall.
Yeah. So that's that. So never fear, Nigel. We're working on new people. So never fear. Got a couple prospects.
You're working on nude people.
Sean is just in a mood, isn't he?
I can't even hear
oh, you can. Okay, this is what I got to deal with today. You have any Halloween plans there, Sean Rossap?
Not right now. I mean, most of our stuff in our town, they do it the weekend before. And we were traveling in Indianapolis this past weekend, which was fun. But
it's like one's not working.
We're supposed to do like trick or treating for kids tomorrow, but weather's bad, so who knows if we'll do it.
Going to be full on rain here. And
yeah,
it's supposed to rain all evening, but I got 2 kids that want to go trick or treating, so I am going to go in the rain because that's what a good dad does, Sean. So that's going to be a real trip. I'm probably going to have an umbrella in each hand, I think. So that'll be that. But we're going to do that. Taking tomorrow off. Going to be beautiful.
Melissa's in the chat.
Is she?
She says, "Sorry, Brady. Don't fuck with me." That's legit. That's legit.
You know how many people are going to think that what you said is legitimate?
I hope they do, because
so
it's the
many
truth.
people.
Because
yeah.
I am a professional reporter, as you know.
Yes.
I only conduct myself professionally, whether it be on social media, the comment section on this show.
Yeah.
I only handle myself in the most professional of methods, and whatever I say is gospel, and nobody should doubt it.
Yep. Very professional. I never have to have talks with Sean ever.
Never. I am. That's why I manage. I am a managing editor. That's really.
Yeah.
I manage a lot more than I edit, because I teach people at Fightful how to be professional. Somebody says, "Is SRS wearing a sweatshirt?" Yeah, I'm wearing a Nike Air sweatshirt, my dude. It's my jam.
Well, good for you, Mr. Reporter Man.
Yeah. Hey guys, by the way, I'll report this. If you want your question or statement read on the air and you're watching live on youtube.com/Fightful, donate a super chat, any amount, that'll get it done. But hey, we also have FightfulSelect.com. It is our premium service. It's the most direct way to support us. After this show, we keep the party rolling with The List Goes On. It's a bonus show over there, but you get 2 episodes of Sour Graps per week with Alex Pawlowski. If you miss him on Raw and SmackDown, he does his own hour-long reviews over there, where you know what you're getting when you go into it. You know it's going to be him crapping on stuff. And I kind of like that. There are a lot of shows online, Jimmy, that parade themselves as like being fair, and they're not. Alex does not mess with it. He's like, "No, I'm not going to be objective. I'm going to crap on everything." And I appreciate that.
You must be talking about Brian Alvarez.
I'm not. I do not listen to that show. No disrespect to Brian. I like Brian, but
I listen to the post shows when I can, and man, is he ever a miserable, negative human being. That's just my opinion. Let's go to let's.
what?
I'm
Jim
sorry.
Shea says, paid off my student loans, treated myself to a Fightful Select subscription. Thanks for the hard work.
Congratulations.
This is for Sean's pain and suffering tomorrow. Why, thank you.
Congratulations, man. That's a milestone paying off your
Yeah.
student debt. So that's cool. I want to start with the news, one of the news stories of the week, because there was a lot of interesting stuff that happened this week. But I want to talk about Jordan Myles. And Sean, a couple of days ago, I think on the Raw Pod, you're like, I don't really want to touch that topic. We're going to touch that topic, but we're not going to touch the political side of it. Because this isn't a political podcast, Sean Sapp. But we're going to just talk about the facts. So Jordan Myles, NXT talent, you might remember him as ACH on the independent circuit. WWE released a shirt for him in their shop, which has since been taken down. I'm sure people have heard the story. Brady, you got the shirt? Can you put that up?
Yep, I'm just trying to find it here.
All right. I gave Brady a lot of media this week in his defense. So.
And did you also give him static that's coming from your side of the audio?
No, is there static coming through?
Very little bit. It sounds like we're on vinyl.
Oh, okay. Maybe, Brady, you can kind of work on that somehow? That's possible?
Yep, give me a sec.
So there's the shirt right there. Very obvious looking at that, what it kind of depicts.
Yeah,
And
blackface. Very
Blackface,
obvious.
yeah. And the first time that I looked at it, even
And
before
the Sambo stuff, yeah.
I saw Jordan Myles' Twitter comments about it, immediately that's kind of the first thing that it kind of looks like. So on October 26th, Jordan Myles posted a picture of that on Twitter, along with the words, "They'll regret making this." That was his quote on October 26th. One day later, on October 22nd, he posted the picture again, and he took some shots of Vincent McMahon and at Triple H when he posted that. Now, as we just said, obviously it's a depiction of blackface, and what makes it worse, of course, is that Jordan Myles is a black wrestler. Makes it even a worse situation than it would be otherwise. WWE released a statement because this started kind of going viral and everything. They released a statement claiming that he approved the shirt. Jordan Myles then countered and said, I approved a white T-shirt. So he said, I approved the logo on a white T-shirt, not on a black T-shirt. Before we go into his conduct, because we'll talk about that in a second.
Static's getting louder, by the way. I tried to let you get through the point, but it's getting like real bad.
Whatever you did, Brady, go the other way.
It's like almost unbearable.
Really?
Yeah.
How is it now?
Still bad. Still very bad. So how about this? How about while we toy with the static, we go to our interview segment a little bit early.
We can't, but Brady can't hear you, so Sean's saying to go to the interview segment early.
Yeah, we're going to go to the interview segment early.
Go to the interview segment?
What's
Yeah,
that?
go ahead and do that. That way we can kind of get a few minutes to fix this. Denise Salcedo spoke to Scott D'Amore, who's had a nice little run lately with Impact Wrestling. Take a look.
Or
When
listen.
you came in, you had the daunting task of sort of, renovating this new Impact Wrestling, sort of, trying to, change its reputation. What was the biggest challenge when it came to that?
I think the biggest challenge, beginning of 2018, when myself and Don Callis came in, along with Ed Nordholm, was really earning trust back. Over the course of many, many years, previous regimes here have lost the trust. They had lost the trust of wrestling fans. So going out there, because we knew we could go out there and put on a great show, and the initial reaction was going to be, okay, that's good, but they're gonna do something, like to upset us or to offend us next week. So to us, the key thing was slowly but surely delivering on a consistent basis. So that over the course of a long period of time, we knew it wasn't going to be a short period of time. It was going to take a long track record of showing that we deliver week after week, day after day, month after month. So I think the trust that we've seen and we've been able to earn back from wrestling fans is something that we take very seriously, and I think it's one of our great accomplishments. And as you know, we just announced, Bound for Glory officially sold out. That's something that never even could have been conceivable 2 years ago. So to have something like that now on the eve of this major premiere on Access is proof that what we're doing is working, and that fans are starting to say, you know what, I can invest with them. Because one of the biggest things is when you have a real fan and they're invested emotionally and financially in your product, they take ownership of it. And we now have fans, not just viewers, but fans that care passionately about what we're doing. And that's been one of the biggest challenges, and I think that's been one of our great successes.
That's incredible. And I'm so happy that you mentioned the sellout, for Bound for Glory. You just said right now how important that is. But knowing that you came in and you made this change, you were part of the change, what does that mean to you and your career? And, just sort of being able to say, like, yeah, we sold out.
I just think it's a great statement, right? And I mean, it was excuse me. It was such a daunting task. Impact Wrestling hadn't sold tickets to wrestling shows in so long. So last year, when it was like, you know what, we need to get out of Universal Studios. Universal Studios is a world-class facility. It's great to be there. It's been a great partnership over the years, but we were getting park goers that just wanted to get out of the heat or be part of it. We weren't getting wrestling fans. So saying that we're going to go back out there and we're going to go to arenas and venues around the country and really around the continent with Mexico and Canada as well, going out there and having fans buy a ticket. There's something, like I remember as a kid, like I would get my ticket, I'd have to go down to the box office, get it, and then I would look at it for weeks, waiting for it to come, right? And the experience is a little different now, but there's still something, when you've invested your money and you've paid to be part of something, and I mean, it builds an excitement, and there's an inherent value there. There's a connection now. They're invested in the product. They're not just tuning it in because there's nothing else to watch. They're invested in the product. And I think that selling out BFG and all the things we've had happen are just some of the great reasons why people need to watch what Impact Wrestling is doing as we head into 2020.
And we're kind of back. Trying to work on the static, guys. I know it's a pain in the ass.
And we don't know why they're static. Like, we haven't changed anything.
Haven't changed a thing.
No.
It's gonna come and go throughout this show.
Yeah, you'll have to bear with me, and then we'll try to figure it out, and then hopefully not have it again next week. Let's go back to Jordan Myles, so long as the static is not intolerable for people. We'll go back to Jordan Myles. So we already kind of talked about what happened and how it's a depiction of blackface and everything. And I had asked Sean before we went to the video if you had heard any more about how this even happened. Forget about the political aspect of it. Forget about Jordan Myles' conduct for a minute. Just the fact that this thing was very clearly a unintentional depiction of blackface. How did that even get greenlit? Did you hear anything else about it?
No, and I've asked, and it's been a lot of hush-hush. I mean, I reached out to Jordan Myles, at least via the email that I last had for him and didn't hear back. But I was like, hey, listen, I'd rather hear your approach on it. But by then, he had kind of said, hey, I should have handled this differently on social media. But the color of the shirt goes a long way in this, which is what was specified in the emails when he was told, oh, Triple H wanted this. I can't believe that somebody wouldn't speak up and say, hey, bad idea. This should not go out there, and this is why. Because this is, if somebody's like afraid of their job or something, they shouldn't be. And I can't say that that's true. I can't say that somebody wasn't like that. Maybe they were. Maybe it fell on deaf ears. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the fact that it even got put out there.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Because it was so obvious. To me, the most disappointing thing about this whole story was the fact that Triple H is the one that greenlit it. And the reason that's disappointing to me is because Triple H, I thought, was kind of more aware of these situations. If it was Vince McMahon, not only would he have approved it, he probably would have put a pair of eyeballs on the shirt too. You know what I mean? But yeah. I thought that Hunter was more aware of these situations. And you know, some people are going to defend Triple H and they're going to say, well, he's got a lot on his plate and approving a shirt for Jordan Myles. With all due respect to Jordan Myles, he's not a top guy. And so you could defend Hunter and say approving a shirt for Jordan Myles is low priority and he probably barely looked at it. But the fact of the matter is he put a stamp of approval on it. And when you put your stamp of approval on something, you should damn well be aware of what you're doing, especially in today's landscape. The landscape that we're in now, everybody's so easily offended. Everybody's so hypersensitive. You have to know the landscape. And so whether it was a priority to Hunter or not, you got to be aware. And so to me, that's disappointing because I have a lot of respect for Hunter as an executive. And so, and that's disappointing. Now, I want to talk about Mr. Jordan Myles' conduct because Sean and I talked about this on, was it Monday, I think? And I told Sean straight up, whether this is a PR nightmare for WWE or not, you fire this guy. you release this guy.
They ain't doing that.
No,
ain't doing
I know
that.
they're not, but if it was me, I would. And I'm going to tell you why. So when he started posting all this stuff, and more stuff started coming out, David Bixispan posted it on Twitter that the shirt design was replaced a month ago. And he asked Jordan Myles, how come you're only making an issue of it now? That shirt's not even live anymore. That leads me to think he has ulterior motives. And Jordan Myles responded to David Bixispan. He said some bullshit about, oh, this has been burning within me for a month, whatever crap he said. I think he had ulterior motives. There were people online that suggest that he wants to get released. I've heard that there's some morale issues in NXT right now, because certain people have been promised a jump to the main roster where there's essentially a promise of more money. But now with the USA contract, they're going to be staying on NXT, but apparently they have not gotten raises. And so apparently there's some morale issues. I question if he's looking to get released. He responded to at least one person on Twitter who criticized his conduct by calling them Tom, which is ridiculous. Then to make it even worse, he went on this Twitter rant against Ring of Honor and against Jay Lethal and Brady. Do you have the screenshot from that Twitter post from Jordan Myles? Yeah. So Jordan Myles posted this, fuck ROH2, they only allowed one African-American to be the top guy, while guys like Cedric Alexander, sorry, I can't read that because it's black and blue, but he said they had to chase the visible carrot, and then he called Jay Lethal Uncle Tom, which is unbelievable that he would use language like that talking about another pro wrestler. He went off about the WWE system. He took a shot at Hulk Hogan. Do you have that tweet, Brady?
Understandably, fuck Hulk Hogan. But...
Yeah, I know your feeling on that, but this guy's still on the talent roster, and Hulk Hogan is higher up on the pecking order than he is.
Sure.
So he should not, be saying things like that. He said the whole WWE system is a fraud. They created the system, blah, 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 blah. Then where I think he crossed the line even more. Now, I think that posting something on Twitter calling Jay Lethal Uncle Tom, to me, that is a releasable offense. But I think what takes it a step further is he released a screenshot of an internal email from WWE. Do you have that screenshot of that internal email that the guy got from WWE? Yeah. It's like got a black background to it, the email?
Oh, yeah, I'll kind of talk until it's up there.
Yeah, it's there.
There we go.
Yeah, it's there. Now, not only did he post this internal email, but he included the email address of the WWE employee in there.
So bad.
Now, I don't know about the confidentiality provisions in his contract, but I know contracts very well. I know employee contracts very well. I deal with them all day long. I would bet money that is a breach, what he did. And so my opinion, between posting that email and between posting a tweet calling Jay Lethal on Uncle Tom, I would be done with this guy. I'd be done with them. And I know you're saying they don't want to release anybody right now, and especially after the T-shirt thing and PR. I would be done with this guy. And even some African-American wrestlers, you can take that down now, Brady. Even some African-American wrestlers like Titus O'Neil and Booker T have come out saying they disagree with how he's handled himself in this situation. And then Jordan Myles, it looked like an apology, but it wasn't an apology. He posted a big message on Instagram, and this is it. And we don't have the entire thing because on the right side it scrolled. It was a lot longer than this, but this was the top of it. He said, "My tweets yesterday were completely disrespectful, unprofessional. I have offended a ton of people and used anger to fuel me. With that being said, I'd like to take this time to state an apology for not giving a shit about what others think of me. The anger I have inside of me has been built up for years now." Can you imagine, Sean, if he became a top guy with that kind of attitude? This guy, with all due respect to him, is nothing on the WWE totem pole right now. Can you imagine if he became a top guy? He's more trouble than he's worth. I would cut him loose. If he becomes a star in AEW, good for him. If he becomes a star somewhere else, good for him. If I was Triple H, he is gone. And that's just my opinion.
I had the biggest problem with the Jay Lethal comment. And
that's ridiculous, yeah. Ridiculous.
Leaking the email address. Those were bad. People are going to get fired up. They're going to get emotional. They're going to say some stuff.
Yes.
And it didn't look great that he waited a month to say it, but maybe that was odd to me. But you know what? I'm not in his shoes. Yep. I don't know how he felt during this period. There's been a lot of stuff that I didn't see or notice or feel comfortable speaking out on that are far less important than that for far longer periods of time. So I'm not here to judge him about that. Leaking the email was that was just flat out immature.
Yeah.
That is the type of thing that I think you should handle in-house, and if it doesn't change, go public with it. Sure, go public with it and put dumbasses on blast for lying or whatever it is that he said that Baker did in that situation, because he indicated that Baker told him that Triple H had approved it, but he talked to Triple H and it didn't happen. So, like, I understand being upset and emotional over that. That was a stupid ass shirt, stupid ass design, dumb all around.
Yeah,
dumb all around.
Apparently, they told him that they were trying to shoot for the Rolling Stones logo. That was the inspiration. Nowhere close. But
nowhere.
But I don't know. Have you heard anything? Because again, the fact he waited a month, and again, a lot of people think that he's looking to get released, which is why he's doing this. Have you heard anything about morale issues in NXT? Because I've heard that some guys were allegedly promised a promotion to the main event roster or main roster, which isn't happening now because of the USA contract. Have you heard anything about that?
So I wasn't told anybody was promised like a promotion or anything, but when I asked certain people in NXT, "Are you getting a raise?" they say, "B." That's when it was moving to USA, and I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, there's some frustration there among a lot of people at the Performance Center. It's overcrowded, quite frankly. They don't have a lot of space there. They're stockpiling people with no plans. The thing is, there are people that have been hired there that the majority of the Performance Center that I speak to, at least, are like, why are they getting hired? What do they have to provide? It's literally just to take the possibility of a future star out of somebody else's hands.
You're right.
It's really wild. But yeah, there's a little bit of that among people I talk to. But still, a lot of people in NXT and really across all the promotions until just the last couple of weeks have been in a honeymoon period.
Yeah.
AEW just got on TV and Impact switching networks. And you got everybody in Impact right now saying, "We're the little engine that could. We work together." And everybody in NXT is excited to get on TV for the first time. AEW, you got a bunch of people who are grateful for their opportunities. And for about a week and a half, you had people excited about the Fox thing, but now everybody's talking. So that one didn't last long.
We're going to get into all that, and I think the NXT honeymoon is kind of over too. Let's move over to AEW. I posted something on Twitter this week that got a lot more attention than I expected. Because I guess this is a polarizing topic for people. Brady, do you have the screenshot of that tweet that I posted on Twitter? So if you look at the very bottom of it, this was a story that Fightful posted. 3 judges to be present for AEW Full Gear bout between Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes. So basically they're going to do the old gimmick from the NWA/WCW when I think it was Sting, Ric Flair, and they had 3 judges at ringside in case it went to a time limit draw. I posted up there, I said, to me, this is another one where if WWE did it, they would get shit on, but because AEW is doing it, they're going to get praise for it. And then I said, I think Cody's dipped enough into the old WCW handbook, and I'm not feeling this particular idea. I got a lot of feedback on that, and so I could tell how polarizing it was. Let me say first and foremost, and I thought it was pretty funny because it just kind of tells you about the mentality, I guess, of wrestling fans. A lot of people thought Impact created that idea.
Yeah, that's funny.
And so I had a lot of people that were trying to shit on me, Sean, and trying to make me look stupid by saying, that was Impact's idea. Not realizing that it was actually done by the NWA/WCW back in like the late 80s. So that was the first thing. A lot of people are saying, well, what does it matter? Because it's not going to go to a time limit draw anyway. And to me, that's not the point. The point is this is a world title match. And in theory, if it went to a draw, do you want your champion determined by judges, at ringside as opposed to the guys in the ring? This isn't boxing. And this isn't MMA, and so I don't think it's the greatest of idea. It's very obvious Cody's been inspired by the NWA/WCW period from the 80s and 90s because they've done a lot of things from that time period. They brought back the Control Center gimmick. They got Tony Schiavone handling that. They do the interviews from the stage the way that Gene Okerlund used to do. They do post-match interviews in the ring the way Gene Okerlund used to do. They got Tully Blanchard.
I'm okay with those, though. Those aren't exclusive to NWA or WCW, and neither is this. But no. I get what you mean. And the thing is, I think sometimes I don't want to say beat over the head with it, but it's very clear. And the thing is, like, why wasn't this an issue during Page and Jericho? Did it just come to them? Maybe. But
Yeah.
my thing is, like, it would be a lot more impactful if, like, Cody and Jericho had time limit issues in the past. Now, this is off the heels of the TV time limit Moxley Neville Pac thing.
Right.
So I could understand that being the reasoning for it, but we know that they have some of the trademarks like Bunkhouse Stampede and stuff like that they're probably going to use, and Battle Bowl and stuff like that. And hey, you probably should. Why not use those? But there are enough callbacks to WCW, but then again, it's not my company.
No, and those other ones that I mentioned, I'm not saying I didn't like them. I'm just saying that I think Cody's done enough, and this is one in particular that I'm not a big fan of. And going back to the thing with Moxley and Pac, do you think they regret that decision, that booking decision?
I don't think they should.
The live crowd hated it. Hated it.
I mean, that'll happen. I mean, I think it was I liked it. I love the TV time remaining thing. Neither man had to lose, and if I were live, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much.
Right.
But the fact that it established a lot of things, it established the TV time remaining, which I really like.
I do too.
It's not the 15 or 20 minute thing. It's however much time is left in the TV show.
Right.
And that's it sets a precedent, Jimmy, because now we don't know that for sure when this show is wrapping up that we're going to get a winner. It makes it a little bit more unpredictable, and I like that.
And again, the NWA used to do it all the time. So that's another thing that they kind of pulled from the NWA. So AEW Dynamite, we're doing this on October 30th, so they're on TNT tonight. NXT's on USA tonight. Got some competition tonight, Sean. So last night was Game 6 of the World Series. That'd be October 29th. They averaged 15.3 million viewers on Fox over the 3 hours. And when you want to talk about the head-to-head hours, as you know, with AEW and NXT, the 8 o'clock hour last night did 14.5 million viewers. The 9 o'clock hour did 15.4 million viewers. This is Game 7 tonight. They're going to do even more than that. Massive competition. But both shows have some interesting stuff tonight. So on Dynamite, they got the finals of the tag team tournament, Lucha Brothers SCU. They got Omega and the Bucks against Kip Sabian, Jack Evans, and Angelico. Hangman Page, Sammy Guevara. They're doing a contract signing with Jericho Cody because they always do contract signings. And Candice LeRae. And I'm sorry, I put that under the wrong show. So they got those shows. Then on NXT tonight, they've got, now this one's interesting to me, the WWE Women's Tag Team title match to show you that they're going between brands. Kabuki Warriors against Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai. That's interesting. And this tag match I'm very interested in. Matt Riddle and Keith Lee, and they go way back against Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Very interesting tag match. So that's going to be interesting. And I put it under AEW. Candice LeRae and Io Shirai. That's going to be interesting too. And Tyler Bate and Cameron Grimes. So interesting stuff on both shows. But boy, they got some competition tonight, Sean.
Yeah, what did the World Series do the other night? Like 16 million or so. Some stupid.
Yeah, 15.3 over the 3 hours. That was their average.
Some stupid number.
Yep.
And it's going to be even bigger tonight. But hey, you know what, guys? If you want to watch the World Series and you can't watch NXT or AEW, we've got the Wednesday Night War podcast every single week, right after the show. First half covers one show. The second half covers the other show. We give you a nice little timestamp. That way you can avoid one or the other. It's pretty nice. Lots of competition tonight. Yeah. Ace Podcast Nation says, my Fightful mug smashed. Fightful totally rocks, man. Best in the world. Hope Ace Podcast Nation can one day be as good quality. You guys inspire me. We appear on those shows quite a bit. Some of the people from Fightful do. So a little bit of love to, not too much love, just a little bit to Ace Podcast Nation. Getting by with that plug from the Super Chat. I see what you're doing.
Hey, they paid the Super Chat. Good for them.
They did. I usually set a precedent, though. Like, you can't plug on those.
Oh,
but
you do.
Because I like him, and he has paid more over time than a plug has. Well, that sounded.
Yeah, we better just move on.
Go check out Ace Podcast Nation. There we go.
Another note about AEW. I want to give props to Tony Khan.
Why?
So Tony Khan, I got to tell you, he's really impressed me during the entire kind of launch and growth period of AEW, how many times have we heard stories about the offspring of billionaires who they're just not very impressive, they're not very competent, they're using mommy and daddy's money, whether it be the Trump sons who don't impress me, the McMahon children don't really impress me as executives. What about Buddy that started the American Football League there that died after, like you see so many people that are the sons and daughters of successful entrepreneurs that they're just not able to get it done. Tony Khan, to me, is a complete 180 of that. And he did something this week that I really liked. So there was a situation where an AEW employee that manages their Twitter account, he got a little overzealous when promoting an announcement. And we have a screenshot of some of the tweets. I didn't even take a screenshot of all of them because they were heavily promoting an announcement on the AEW Twitter. Do you have the one screenshot I sent you, Brady, of the AEW one, yeah? This is just a few of them. So if you start at the bottom there, under 1 hour till the big announcement, hints, not a video game. 10 minutes till the announcement, last minute guesses, not another championship. 5 minutes, blah, 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 blah. All that bullshit, and all it was to announce that they're going to be doing a TV taping in Jacksonville, Florida, which is their home city, on New Year's Day. All that hype, and all it was to announce a TV taping.
Had someone with the balls to say to me on Twitter, if anybody can make a mountain out of a molehill about AEW, it's you, Sean. And I had to be like, I wish you all would decide what company I'm shilling for and what company I hate, because I save them now. When somebody says I'm shilling for somebody or shitting on somebody too much, I save them, put them in a neat little folder just so I can reference back later for snarky little tweets like that. Tony Khan recognized it. I'm sure you're getting to that.
Yes, and I really respected this. And again, I have a lot of respect for Tony Khan. He recognized that it was kind of a silly thing that this employee did. Obviously, that they were just being overzealous about the whole thing. He recognized, because they got shit on hard. Like the AEW's Twitter got shit on hard about what a deadpan announcement it was. So Tony Khan responded to AEW's Twitter with this response. Do you have Tony Khan's tweet? He said, now I don't know who Jeff is. Obviously, that's the guy that does
Judge Jeff Jones.
Oh, there you go. He said, let's do our best not to toy with people's emotions. We got people who aren't near the Florida market all excited. Now we have to come up with another huge announcement, one that affects all of our fans everywhere, to make it up to them. And so that's what we'll do. Good on Tony Khan for recognizing that, man. He did the same thing when the ITV announcement came out. And everybody was upset about the crappy time slot, and he kind of scrambled and got the hub deal and the fight deal. And I respect him that he's quick to recognize the negativity and try to fix it. It's refreshing. You don't see a lot of that, It
is. I tell you what, it beats. It beats not doing that for months and months and months and months and months until your show is so bad that you and your entire family have to go stand in the middle of the ring and go, we're going to change things.
Yes.
It sure beats that. A lot of respect to Tony Khan for doing that. I like it. And who knows if they even will do an announcement or if he's just shutting people up, because maybe he is. But I think this is pretty cool. And I liked it too. And also, I hope they do announce a video game soon.
I saw some graphics, but I don't know if they were for action figures.
I don't know. I haven't seen those.
So MJF posted a photo of a head scan.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was for an action figure or for a video game. They didn't really specify. All right, let's talk about. So remember last week I told you that one of the big stories of 2020 is going to have to do with WWE's record-breaking profit and potentially record low popularity. Oh boy, the SmackDown numbers, Sean. We got to talk. So 2 weeks ago, on Fox, SmackDown averaged 2.44 million viewers. That was for the October 18 episode. Last Friday's show was the October 25 show. They had to move to FS1 because of the World Series. Everybody expected that the rating was going to be lower because of the fact that they were moving to FS1 for the week. Keep in mind, they did 2.44 million viewers the week before on Fox. Put up the Showbuzz Daily graphic, Brady. This is from the October 25 cable rankings. Way down at number 9, you see WWE, and look at that viewership count on the far right. 888,000 viewers.
AEW won!
Yeah.
Right now, AEW is Betch Kohea after beating Shayna Baszler and Jessamine Duke. They're just getting ready for Rousey at this point.
I mean, how do you justify a 63% drop A 63% drop in viewership week over week. How do you justify it? I'm sure that Vince McMahon is saying, oh, it's because people couldn't find it on FS1. Utter nonsense. UFC used to have to do that, right? And you remember back in the day, it used to be that UFC was the bigger draw on pay-per-view, but WWE was the bigger draw on television. That was always kind of the connection between those two shows. UFC's numbers would blow WWE away. They would do 1 million plus on FS1, and SmackDown did 888,000 viewers. The only answer to this is that not enough people were interested in the show to find the show. And that's all you can say about it. Not enough people were interested in the show to find the show. And that's got to be concerning for them. I'm curious what's going to happen on Friday when they're back on Fox. I expect they'll probably be back up around the 2 million range again. If they drop below those USA numbers, and again, I know that WWE is going to say, yeah, but Friday's a tougher sell.
Well, I will say FS1 is a dead network. Like, it really is. UFC was doing, like, I think 700,000 last year. And now on ESPN, they're doing like, or at least the first quarter, I think it was 1.3, 1.4.
Right.
Maybe 1.5 million on average on ESPN. But I think the one of the best on FS1 last year was like 840,000 for UFC.
I thought they used to hit 1 million for the prelims, no?
Well, maybe for stuff like that, but
Yeah.
like their standalone cards were like 840,000.
Oh, yeah.
Like real rough. I know that Usman and Maya, I remember that number vividly. It was 870,000, but that's not good. That's not good.
When 63% of your audience is choosing not to look for the show, that's not good. It's not.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, WWE has the benefit of, Fox is probably going to just exclude it because it was a one-off. I think this Friday show they're going to exclude as well because people now have to, get trained to find it again on Friday night on Fox. But 2 weeks down the road, 3 weeks down the road, 4 weeks down the road, if they're hovering around the 2 million mark, it's just not good. It's not. And I fully expect if that happens that Fox is going to want to start getting involved with creative like USA did. And it won't surprise me if you start hearing things about, they're going to do a tournament or something because Fox wanted it, that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, along these same lines when it comes to ratings, somebody named Carrie Williams hit me up on Twitter wanting to ask me about...
Carrie.
Okay, she wanted to ask me about UK television ratings. Do you have that tweet from Carrie Williams, Brady? She said, Jimmy Van, I'm sure you'll talk about SmackDown's rating on Listen to You Boy. Was interested in your thoughts regarding Raw managing 3,000 viewers in the UK and now being destroyed by AEW and Impact in the UK market. I did a very quick answer to her on Twitter, but I thought I would just kind of touch upon it a little bit more. Now, in WWE's defense, I will say this. They're on Sky Sports Arena right now. It's a subscription channel in the UK. AEW and Impact both air on free-to-air channels. AEW airs on ITV4, Impact airs on 5-Star. So AEW and Impact logically would get more viewers because they're on free-to-air versus pay. The other thing is that Raw and SmackDown air live, so they air at 1 a.m. local time versus AEW and Impact, which airs at 11 o'clock. All of that being said, though, WWE is the bigger brand of the three. And how do you justify or explain 3,000 viewers for Raw? I think that would have been for last week's show. How do you explain 3,000 viewers, a drop of like 20,000 viewers from their average? Very hard to explain or to justify. So it is what it is, and it's not going to get better because they're going to be moving in January. The name of the new network escapes me right now, but they're going to be moving in January by Sports or something. I forget. But they're going to be moving in January to another pay network that's even got less viewers on average than Sky does. And so if they're doing, say, 20, 30,000 a week right now for Raw, Sean, we could be looking at 10 or less per week on...
10 or less viewers.
Yeah. 10,000 or less viewers a week for Raw and SmackDown, which is scary. They had Tyson. They got Tyson Fury on their programming.
Yep.
And they're still doing that. It's very scary.
If I were them, I'd be having him on the UK tour next month as well. Like when they do that, you got to do it. Hannah Moore says, my last super chat for 12 months because I have to pay $3,800 for Invisalign now. God bless the U.S. healthcare system. Election day is right around the corner, guys.
I'm not going to talk about the election, Sean. I have my opinion.
Not either.
I have my opinion on.
reminding people that it exists.
I have my opinion on who's going to win, but I'm not going to talk about it. Let's talk about Crown Jewel. Happens tomorrow, October 31st. Starts at 12 Eastern, noon Eastern, with the pre-show. Not going to go over the entire thing. I just want to ask you a few questions. So first and foremost, they announced today, October 30th, that they will officially, until the Saudi government changes their mind last minute, they will officially present their first ever women's match in Saudi Arabia. Lacey Evans against Natalya. Head scratcher, Sean. Why do you think they chose Lacey Evans over the likes of Charlotte, Bayley, Becky, Sasha Banks? Why would they pick Lacey Evans for that spot, Sean?
I don't know, Jimmy.
I'm sure people are going to ask, what are they going to wear? And I believe it might have been Stephanie McMahon's interview with Bleacher Report. She said they're going to have full body outfits. I'm sure they don't have to wear headgear because Renee Young doesn't on commentary, but they're going to have full body outfits like they had in Abu Dhabi. So that's
Natalya pretty much does anyway, except she has the things cut out.
Right. Yeah. So that's what they're going to be planning for that. Cain Velasquez. You think he's going to win the title?
I don't know. Do you think he's going to wear a full body thing?
Maybe he should.
No, I don't think that he will win the title. He shouldn't. He's not very good right now.
I'm curious what's going to happen. I think Brock's going to get his win back, and I think that Vince McMahon looks at it like a receipt.
Do you think that Brock is kind of stroking his spike haircut and going, that doesn't work for me, brother. I need my win back, brother.
You know what? To be honest with you, no. I think Brock looks at it as a paycheck, and he'll do whatever.
Brock is a businessman,
yes, he
and
is.
I've always heard the people that he wants to put over, he really wants to put over. That's what I've always heard about him.
And you know what? Sorry, I just want to say one thing. I know that Brock has a lot of haters because he's a part-timer and he's a prize fighter, and you know what a fan I am of Brock Lesnar because he's the most real guy in all of pro wrestling. That F5 to Ray, when he smacked that wall, I am going to miss when the day comes. Even though he's only a part-timer, I am going to miss the day Brock Lesnar retires because that guy is awesome. He is the most real pro wrestler in all of pro wrestling. And I'm going to miss – and even Velasquez. Velasquez is not a small dude. Yes. And Brock got him up there like he was a stuffed animal.
Oh, I loved Kane's sell of that, too, where he flopped around. That was really good.
Yeah.
Also, worth noting, Triple H said that Kane is a developmental project.
Really?
In his interview on the Grave Show. Now, and about the Brock part-time thing, I don't think he should be champion. I really don't. This match didn't need it. And a lot of people act like, oh, well, he didn't work full-time that long anyway. That guy worked full-time every day of his life until he got to WWE to look the way that he did and all that. And the way that I've always looked at it, there are situations like Brock Lesnar where you don't take any days off for years of your life, so later on you can. And Brock Lesnar's doing that. He worked his ass off for a very long time to become a great amateur wrestler, to become a great pro wrestler and MMA fighter. Now he gets to reap the benefits of getting to take days off whenever he pretty much wants.
Not just that, but I think they get more out of him by not having him there every week. You know,
sure.
And this is why we've talked about time off cycles. You know, if you're not there every single week and then you are there, people are happier to see you. You know?
Yeah. I just don't think he needed that title. I don't think they needed it. I think you could have made a better heel off of Kofi Kingston,
right?
Than Brock Lesnar. Which, to be fair, a lot of people said that Brock wasn't the right person to beat The Undertaker. I kind of think he was now that we see that CM Punk hit the bricks.
Yeah.
And the mileage they've gotten out of Lesnar kind of feels like they have. But you know what? They could have launched one hell of a heel in Roman Reigns by beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania and him being the first one too. So
yeah, if they had legitimately flipped a switch on him, then they could have. So aside from Cain Velasquez, so we got Tyson Fury, Braun Strowman. Apparently he's going to be one and done because he's going to be training for his next fight. Do you think Tyson Fury's winning over Braun Strowman?
I hope it's a double KO.
Something. Yeah. Because Braun's got a lot more to lose, man. He's got a lot more to lose, you know?
If Braun doesn't win this, or Braun loses this, man, like you can only marginalize a guy so much. And here's the thing, the easy thing you can say. Well, it's the undisputed lineal, well, not undisputed, but lineal heavyweight champion of boxing, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, but this is Braun's world.
Yes.
This is Braun's world.
I absolutely agree. Yep, we'll have to see what happens. Now, Seth Rollins and The Fiend. I had kind of suggested, and I'm sure it wasn't the only one, but I had suggested that if The Fiend's going to lose, which he shouldn't, but if The Fiend's going to lose, maybe they would do something like they did with Rock and Mankind in that empty arena match where they used the forklift. And I mentioned that on this podcast. Little did I know that they were going to decide for no freaking reason to do a Falls Count Anywhere match on Raw with Seth Rollins and Eric Rowan, a guy that he has no beef with on television at all, and use that exact finish. Meaning that one's out of your toolbox for Saudi Arabia. And if that one's out of your toolbox for Saudi Arabia, unless they do a double turn and have Bray Wyatt win the title, there is no finish that makes any sense to me at all that shows The Fiend losing. What are your thoughts?
Well, they wouldn't have been able to get a forklift in a full body suit anyway. So that would have been the first issue, is trying to dress that forklift up. But Seth Rollins did mention, yeah, you got it. Seth Rollins did mention that he was a former, he being Eric Rowan, was a former Wyatt family member. So I like that they made the sense out of it a little bit. But, I mean, they got to have something more creative or The Fiend should win.
Let me ask you this question, because I've been trying to think of how could they possibly do this and have this make sense. Do you remember the Buried Alive match where Taker got buried, because I think he took time off for an injury or something. Taker got buried. Then they had the double that floated up. You know, they had a body double that floated up.
Yeah, the casket match. Yeah,
yeah, the casket. Yeah,
I
guess it was a casket match. Maybe they could do something like that where, like, the Fiend isn't pinned. He hasn't actually pinned, but they do something where he is just kind of disappears into something. Maybe Seth Rollins locks him in a room and burns the room down, or locks him in a building and burns it down. Something where he doesn't actually get pinned, but he loses because he's out of the match. Maybe they'll do something like that. I don't know.
The benefit is you're in front of a Saudi Arabia crowd that might not shit on what you're doing quite as much. They might not even care.
No.
But I think you got to have a finish. You got to have a real honest-to-God finish here. Or if you don't, it better be something mind-blowing and creative.
I agree. And I still think the double turn is a fantastic idea, and have the Fiend win the title, but I guess we'll see.
That was the plan.
Brady, last time for you, my friend. Let's go to Stupid People.
Stupid people is what this segment's called. You might wonder why we do it. It's not about wrestling at all. Used to be WWE's weekly usage of stupid nicknames, which we did hoping they'd stop giving wrestlers lame names. But it didn't work, so we gave up. In the new segment, we came up with this stupid people. Stupid people, stupid people. Duh.
All right, after this, go to Fightful Select. The list goes on. We're going to talk about Stephanie McMahon. We're going to talk about Montez Ford. We're going to talk about WWE backstage. We're going to talk about Jake Hager. Other stuff we're going to talk about on the list goes on after this on Fightful Select. So this first one today, Sean, this one was sent in by me today. Ooh. I posted this on Twitter. I was going to bring the prop with me, and I forgot, so I had to ask my wife to make a little video, and I'll air that in a minute here. This was sent in by me. People on Twitter, surprisingly, have dealt with the same thing that I did, which is stunning to me. We have, you know, those big electronic sound buttons, like I think Staples does commercials with these, you know, the big red button, and you push it and it says something. So we have a toy one at my house. And when you press it, it says WTF on the top of it, but it doesn't actually say what the F word. It says what the followed by a sound effect. All right. Play the video. My wife pressed it a couple of times for me, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about.
What the?
So Sean couldn't hear that, but it basically says what the followed by a sound effect. My children love that button. They are 5 years old and 2 years old. They love that button, and they go around the house saying, what the beep? And that is verbatim what they say. What the beep? They don't say what the hell. They don't say what the shit. They don't say what the whatever. They say what the beep. My children's school gave my wife crap. I think it was this past Monday or maybe last Friday. Gave her crap saying your kids are saying what the beep in school. And because my wife is not me, she vehemently apologized. She took the button away from him, said, you know, I'll take care of it kind of thing. She mentioned it to me in passing. Oh, by the way, the school gave me crap because the kids say, what the beep. I looked at my wife and I said, and what's your point? And my wife said, well, they shouldn't say that in school. I was adamant. You're lucky they didn't talk to me. I would have asked them, tell me what swear word they used. Oh, they didn't say a swear word. Well, then there's no problem. Don't mention this to me again. People on Twitter dealt with the same thing, Sean, they told me. The same thing, where the school is giving them crap. They're not using coarse language, Sean. Can you explain to me how this is a problem? Is this the society we live in now, Sean?
Almost as sensitive as people getting upset about a lighthearted your mama joke.
Okay. The reason I said that was an issue, and you agreed with me, the reason I said
I didn't really.
Yes,
agree.
you did. Yes, you did. The reason I said it was an issue is because if somebody new to the site that doesn't know that you're joking with the person you're talking to, if they see that, they might be turned off by the site. That's why I said I had a problem with it.
They might want to click the play button then and watch the actual show, because it's pretty transparent.
How many people don't do that? How many people read a headline and just assume the content? Tons of people do that.
Not worth it. Not worth it. We don't need it.
I don't think you want to turn off viewers over stuff like that. And I told Sean on Skype, I said, dude, you're 34. You're not 12. So, chill with the mom jokes.
And then I get 30-something-year-old wrestlers joking about dropping nuts on shoulders. And it does numbers, Jimmy.
That was a little different. That's
How was that
different.
a little bit different? Because it was lighthearted.
Big E is an established talent.
I am an established talent. What? What the hell are you trying to say?
That was a better.
I have 30,000 followers, sir.
That was a better reaction than I could have ever asked for.
Come on.
Let's move on to the next one. That was awesome. I might want to isolate that. That was good. This next one, this is reported by the Reno Gazette-Journal. I'm still laughing at that reaction. That was good. Reported by the Reno Gazette-Journal on October 25. So there was a 50-year-old woman out of Las Vegas. Her name is Jennifer Stitt, and she was ejected from a casino that I've never heard of in Vegas called the Canary Casino. I've never heard of it. I guess. What's that?
Sounds like a club/casino.
I guess it's in North Vegas. It's off the strip. I've never heard of it. But she was ejected from that casino for disorderly conduct, Sean. What happened next? She drove her Winnebago through the front doors and ran over an elderly custodian along the way. Oh. We have a picture of the damage. Can you look at that, Sean? Drove that sucker.
Was she cooking meth in that?
Yeah, right? That's actually, was her last name White by chance, or Pinkman? So now, fortunately, the 60-year-old custodian was injured but survived. And Ms. Stitt is facing an attempted murder charge for that. So
yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah,
that's dumb.
It's dumb. That's what she did, man. This last one, this is for the SRS file, reported by the Dallas Morning News on October 10. You ever heard of a toilet spray called Poopery?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so I never had. Apparently, you spray it in the toilet before you do your business because it creates
those big smelly shits, Jimmy. What's wrong with you?
Anyway, apparently it creates a barrier on the water surface that traps in odors, and that's the point of this thing. I had never heard of it. The company behind it is doing a test run of a promotional pop-up exhibit right now. Any idea what that pop-up exhibit is about?
Duty.
Anything more specific?
Corn and duty.
Okay. It features a 30-foot inflatable piece of poop. We have the picture. Put that up. Now, you know what puzzles me about this picture, Sean? I don't know if I'm more puzzled that there's a 30-foot inflatable poop or if I'm puzzled that there's a line of people looking to get into the inflatable 30-foot poop.
So somebody falls off that building.
Yeah.
And they land on that piece of poop. Do they die or live?
I think they would die because they would go through it too quick, but the building's too far back. So if they fell out,
I'm just saying if it were within a normal reach.
Yeah.
So here's my thing: if you did fall off of something at a great height and land on that, look at the way it's constructed, Jimmy.
Yep.
If you land on the top, you're getting shot back out like 20, 25 feet.
No, you're not, because it's just one of those typical inflatable things. You're going right to the ground.
No. I mean, however low you can reach with it bouncing you back off.
Okay.
You're getting a good distance because of the way that's constructed. That is an effective piece of shit.
That's where you were going with that?
No,
where
I'm
you're
just
going?
saying. I look at Jimmy. I'm a creative person. I think of wonderful ideas, and I'm just looking at that, and I'm like, just the way that it's constructed. You land on that, bam! It's like a springboard. It'd be like Sin Cara jumping into the ring on his trampoline.
Right. Maybe WWE should have used a trampoline piece of shit, and they could have done some promotional tie-in with poopery.
The original Sin Cara already was a piece of shit on a trampoline. Did you see him most of the time?
Yes, I did. I
Bad.
remember. One more thing I want to talk about today before we go to the list goes on. I want to talk about Impact Wrestling for a minute. This is my opinion, and people are going to like it or not going to like it. Let me say first, I haven't seen their debut on Access. I heard it was good.
I liked it, yeah.
Yeah, Sami Callihan won the Impact title. Tessa Blanchard came out, so they're teasing that thing. My opinion is this. I think that Impact Wrestling, I've heard that their product is a lot better in the ring. I don't watch them week to week. I do watch clips on YouTube, but I don't watch them week to week. To me, their booking makes them look like a glorified independent promotion. And I don't know what their end game is. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish. I don't know if they're trying to find their niche in the market by going in that direction. But my opinion is bringing in Joey Ryan, letting him do the dick flip gimmick, especially with the Ken Shamrock of all people, because they're teasing a program with those two guys.
That did make TV, by the way.
I know. I asked Sean if they were going to actually make TV with that stuff. Having Tessa Blanchard now challenged for the Impact title, to me, that kind of stuff works with a niche, hardcore wrestling market. That stuff to me is not going to work with the masses. I don't know their end game. I don't know what their hope is for Access TV. I don't know how many viewers that they're hoping to draw. But in my opinion, that style of wrestling is not going to get it done, and I don't agree with them going in that direction. That's just my opinion.
How much have you seen Tessa work?
I've seen quite a bit of Tessa stuff. I've seen quite a bit of her stuff.
If I hadn't watched a lot of her, I'd probably think that. But man, she is the biggest star that company has had in a long time.
And I don't disagree. Like Tessa's great. She is probably going to get a big contract from somebody else next year. She probably is going to end up in AEW or WWE, I imagine. And she's great. And we've talked about how can you imagine her and Charlotte as a tag team or as opponents for that matter, and the promo work and stuff. She's really good. I'm not a fan of intergender wrestling. It's hard for me to buy it. You're talking about a 5'4", 120-pound woman. I'm not a fan of intergender wrestling. And Joey Ryan's dick flip, you know what I think of that stuff, especially with a guy like Ken Shamrock. It's hard for me as a viewer to suspend my disbelief and get into it. Just my opinion. I'm not saying others can't like it.
Sure.
Just my opinion. But if I am the promoters or the bookers of Impact Wrestling, now that you finally have a U.S. footprint, it's not USA and it's not TNT, but it's better than Pursuit. So now that you have this U.S. footprint, do you want to go in that direction creatively? I say no. I think it's a mistake. And that's just my opinion.
That's fine. I like the Tessa Blanchard stuff. I think that her and Sami Callihan is the best possible feud. It's a little more believable than Tessa and Brian Cage.
Fair. That's
going
fair.
in there. And, man, I can't say enough good things about the way that Tessa Blanchard works. The thing that I like about her is every single move she makes is to win a pro wrestling match, and that goes such a long way. And Callihan is the ultimate heel in that company. I really dig it. I'm excited for that storyline as well. And she's special, man. She's really special. They have a lot of special talent in that women's division, and I look for them to really focus on that pretty heavily moving forward.
Unless Tessa loves Impact, she's gone next year. She's gone because she is going to get a big money offer, and Anthem cannot compete.
Yeah,
So,
I would be shocked if they could match whatever offers she gets elsewhere.
Yep, they can't. There's no way.
I agree.
That's all I got for you, man. List goes on. Yeah, list goes on. Coming up.
You all can go over, subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. The List Goes On is our weekly post show. That in addition to, 20 other podcasts that we do per month. Lots of neat stuff coming your way. Next week we have a retro review, or probably maybe the week after that. Dark match commentary up there. Leave a thumbs up on this video if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe. Our numbers are just increasing steadily. I'm very, very happy with that. Thank you guys so much. We're going to have more video interviews than ever. We're doing a ton of these. I'm even going with Jeremy to WrestleCade at the end of November to get a bunch of them. So if you're at WrestleCade, make sure you guys hit us up. Let us know. We'll say hi to you. But until next time, guys, we're out.
Subscribe to Fightful on YouTube for the latest exclusive podcasts, interviews, and news across boxing, MMA, and pro wrestling.